How are you guys doing? It is Sunday, September 13th, 2020. I hear in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this little bit of the elite, I'm going to give a story about how sports kind of fits into my life, and how very integral sport figures have really shaped how I view sports and just how I cover it, just based on how other people's recollections and just how their perspectives have changed how I saw it as an individual player who's kind of been watching it from the outside. So, when I was 16, when I was 15, when I was a sophomore, junior in high school, Terrell Davis, who was the running back for the Denver Broncos, who was back in the late 90s, in the early 2000s, when he won the championship with them. He only played from 1995 to 2001 in the NFL, and he was already named a Hall of Famer for that short career that he already had. He was named as two-time Super Bowl champion, 97, 98. He was a Super Bowl MVP in the 98 Super Bowl from the 97 season in Super Bowl 32. He was a three-time Pro Bowler from 96 to 98, three-time first-team All-Pro from 96 to 98, the NFL's MVP for the 1998 season, two-time NFL OPOY, the Offensive Player of the Year from 1996 and 1998. He was the AFC Player of the Year in 96, the NFL rushing yards leader in 98, two-time NFL rushing touchdown leader in 96 and 98. He was a member of the All-Decade Team, and he's a member of the Denver Broncos Ring of Fame. So the player who's been on the Broncos from 95 to 2001. His children went to the same school that my brother and sister did when I was in high school. I was able to meet him at the Halloween Carnival, but I was able to get to know him and take down his contact information. When I was a junior, that was a bit towards the end of the 2016 school year. Before the summer, he was able to let me go out and just shadow him for a day. I drove all the way out to the NFL Network studio. At the time, it was in LA, and it was a very early recording because it had to be early for the East Coast. I think it came on about 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So I got to the studio at about 3 or 4 a.m. Also, one of the producers on the show, my mom knew him through a coworker she worked with. I think it was her CNN coworker's husband, who was also a producer on the NFL Network. It was the Good Morning Football show, and Terrell Davis was there. So of course I was able to sit down, talk with them, kind of get to know them, pick their brain. He was there. I remember former first-round pick Derek Carr's older brother, was there, so I got to get to know him and pick his brain. And ever since, we've been able to kind of just stay in touch. And I think once I was able to go and fully experience what the NFL Network was like, go there and sit down for a day and see the work that they go through to make sure that that these shows flow incredibly smoothly, how they go from the beginning and the end, and just considering how Terrell Davis was able to make himself available for me, a high school kid, to get a chance to poke my head into this industry, kind of look around and see what's there. I think a lot of that was a lot of that helped me shape why I want to go into sports journalism the way I want to do now, and I really appreciate Terrell Davis for helping me do that, especially for a player who was at the height of his career as an NFL player before I was even born. So at the end of the day, I want to thank Terrell Davis for everything that he's done for me, and I don't think I'd be here right now without Terrell Davis reaching out the olive branch and letting me come up and check out check out the studio, check out the recording of the show, and since then he's been named to the NFL Hall of Fame after playing in the league from 95 to 2001 for his amazing peak and what he was able to do as well. But with that said, once again, I want to thank Terrell Davis for being what he's kind of been for me in my life. I want to thank you for listening to all 4.5 minutes of this piece. Once again, it is Sunday, September 13th, 2020. I hear in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and Terrell Davis is a really good friend of mine. I have a picture of him. I don't know if it's on my Instagram. It might be in my archives, but Terrell Davis he's been a really great person for me in my life, and I want to congratulate him on making the Hall of Fame since we last spoke. And with that said, like I said, thanks once again for hearing my piece, and peace out. I hope everyone's well, and I love you all.